To the gatekeeper who has decided to get into my mule just now and stop my recording. Think about this. Just think about it. It's still not going to stop the truth, no matter what. I think I'm wasting my breath. And a very good morning to you. So we'll see where God takes it from here. Honestly, where He takes it from here, I don't know. But what I do know is what I wrote. I'd like to share an article with you called Thief in His Basket. An article that maybe it will open some eyes and maybe it won't. And people's setups. Let me share some words with you if you don't mind listening. And a very good morning to you. My name is Rhonda Fair from London, Ontario, Canada. And greetings to you across the universe, across the world, morning, afternoon, evening. And if you're sleeping, I'm hoping the sweetest dreams ever. Doing this close-up on my video is whomever is behind this. Oh, thank you for the close-up. I'd like to share something with you. In the article I have written here, and trust me, it's not God's divine. Okay? It's just Rhonda writing. What if God grabbed you while you were warm and tender into a book that was sincere desire to instructions, to the moral and religious amelioration of mankind, improvement, in steps to make better or more tolerable, to grow better and improve, to consolation to feel better after their disappointment to improve. The language is strongly expressive to the very closeness of your life. When scarcely able to speak with a smile, expressiveness with joy in the heart. This is called amelioration, improvement, to make better. I know my frame of mind. Do you? Not to ruffle the serenity of the mind, not to wander, not to spend time in a mere visit. Alas, we should know wandering does not always mean we're lost, but a story of what, who, where, when, and why did events take place, beholding a city that is being swept away, crumbling away in the illusions and delusions in this sand. Think about this. Setups. One might notice and recognize the setups. The setups are very easy to pick out. And as I watched and I walked along this journey in the setups, will she push back? What will she do? What will he do? What do they think of themselves? What does she think of herself? Anything to cover up the truth. I mean, we have to make it look warm. We have to make it look nice. I mean, mistakes are mistakes. But our thoughts to be grounded. Our hearts to be grounded solid. Even in the mode of speaking, public or domestic, not being ashamed of righteously dividing the word of truth, cut it straight. In this article, let's just cut it straight. Be grounded. Orthotomeo. Rightly divided, straight ways it means. Correctly study well, God's God approves. Let's just cut it straight. Doing setups. You know, every one of us have had dirty laundry or have dirty laundry. And dirty laundry gets washed. Correct? How hard are you going to push back on this one? I'm proud of my dirty laundry. You know why? Because I learned from my dirty laundry, and I like my dirty laundry because it got washed, but I grew from my dirty laundry. How about you? Former FBI and CIA agents Joe Navarro, Chase Hughes, Andrew Bustamante, Lisa, Dr. Phil grin as he talks it straight out, getting to the point. If we cut it straight, in the mind, straight to the mind, to the perspective, to this perspective, it would be perception from our lens to walk with our whole heart and soul and mind and strength of God, His Word, Son, depending on Him in wisdom and righteousness, sanctification and redemption, and effectual principle through the Spirit, would no longer be able to trick and manipulate another's mind to commit crimes, even such as murder. In the revenge, fulfilling particular duties, purposely getting close to someone, knowing their deepest secrets, to find out it's only love. You think about that when you go into someone's life and you want to get attached to them, and you let on that you really care and love that person. And then you go into their secret life because you need to get into that secret life to find out. But what they find is love. That's the secret. It's very heartbreaking to want to go into someone's life and get them attached to you. Maybe fall in love and find out it's only love in there. You know, example is you belong to a church building. And for quite a length of time, then one person gossips because of anger, acting out on an emotion. And they send out messages to a group of people. It's called gossip. And then ends up being a cult of hatred. And what happens from there, it attacks. It becomes that article of lies and flipping the doctrine. Is this not jealousy, lies, and hate, and pride, and burning inside those selfish inclinations? Of course it is. Out of one person that lies can cause a complete nightmare. If someone goes into family members or all family members and tells them they have to set up and do it a certain way and behave a certain way to teach someone lessons, do you really believe that's from God? Do you truly believe that? Do you believe bishops, preachers, that is from God? I don't believe so. You see, man doesn't clean anybody's laundry. The Lord does. And that's why we have dirty laundry. And I'll tell you, all this dirty laundry, I have seen lots of it here on Messenger. I have seen it on Messenger that would just... But I'm not here to reveal your dirty laundry. That's up to God to cleanse it. But before we step back and decide we're going to clean somebody's laundry, we better check inside and check out our own dirty laundry. I mean, you've only exposed yourself through videos, through your actions. But again, that's between you and God. I'm not here to open up a new can of worms to tell everybody about your dirty laundry. See, I learn from my dirty laundry every day. And like I said, I love my dirty laundry because I got experience. I got lots of experience in all kinds of ways. And learning from this, they got scrubbed. In other church buildings, we are the church. I mean, imposters lying to families, causing a bridge of alienation, telling them that it's only a setup, you're doing it for good when you know the truth. I mean, how can you take something that you depended on yourself, saying it's the truth, to go, well, it was only set up and it was just to teach lessons and, to become a better person when you know the truth. A leading article, I'm asking, to families causing a bridge of alienation, what would you do? Would you say it's only a mistake? With such character of wicked men and trouble and vexations, according to their own principles, impostors of everlasting destruction, exalting themselves, exalted schemes of sins, piety, no education. Would not God intervene in on this? While He's watching on the sidelines behind the curtain? Where do we have the right to go in and bring people together and tell them that they should do what we think God says in the Bible? Well, since you are gay, we're going to make sure that you are going to play the part our way. Or you, because you like to dress as a beautiful bunny, we're going to do it our way. Or you, because you want to do it the Bible way through marriage, that you have to do it this way. You know what? It's evil. It's pure evil. That's between God and them, God and myself. And going and digging deep in the doctrine, it never once asked me to be a character of harm, to teach people lessons, to set up, or do forgery or plagiarism. Nowhere in the truth has ever taught me that. Let me ask you, why do I walk down the street and ask all those questions? Using separation, what if she'll push back? Well, if we got the house and we got the washer and dryer, do you think she's going to push back on that one? That is who's behind it, is their own karma. I say, if God is my vengeance and He is my karma, when you have family involved, I become your karma. Think about it. No matter how new or old karma is what karma is. Would not God intervene on this? He's watching. Schemes of free thinkers, established doctors of the heathen world, production of Socrates or Plato, Aristotle, Cicero, systems of doctrines of craftiness that has infuriated Jews in ignorance and hatredness, rising from the character in the weak place and not a plain direction. Human nature may be truly improved, but by only studying ourselves in truth. We need the worldly lust to a certain extent. Do not be fooled. To this extent, we need this as food to support us in homes and cars and clothing and trains and planes and, soap to cleanse us. Dividing people, stealing, taking their minds to mush, causing their separation to suggest that one's heart is wrongly divided. Does not Paul make use of this classical learning in Amos and Acts and Corinthians, and in Titus, to all creatures of pure revelation, dividing families, even hatred and cursing, evilness, tricksters of a person's mind, no excitement in the minds, no kindness, superintendence of dirty lots, gaslighting every room only gives disadvantages and a soundtrack adds to be a record full of scratches, as I spoke about. By record, who is recounting the world to himself, soon the power is to become many scratches and it won't play anymore. As I have repeated myself, I'm risking this character in a weak place and not plain direction from Genesis to Esther, from Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John, and Acts, and subsequent histories, Job to Solomon, and then mingled with commands in instant fallen conversations and judgments, direction to behave right, and so on. To rate understanding and knowledge of faith, a plan of accurate observations, acknowledging what is real. Yeah, forgive me, it does its own little talking here. What is real, but to right understanding of the analogy of this, of faith, a plan, accurate observations, acknowledging what is real or delusion in reference to this article, from anyone's distress, subject to be carefully compared. If we took someone who has been sleeping to the head root, to the head, rooted from the hairs of our head to the body, and walked away to a visible world with indwelling grace, easily influenced, not wasting every second of every breath, but to be grateful and thankful, and not forcing others to our own ways of understanding in the midst of debasement and troubles of regular societies being shamefully routed and rooted, belong to heartless, deceiving, and terrifying. It's grotesque. It's grotesque religions of war, brainwashing, traitors, idolatry and separation, tyranny, and being haughty and contentious. To the whole point of bringing forth the year 4000, in the year 4000 of that birth, to now, causing great decay to the year 2500. But what about in the year 2900, in the year of decay, 400 years from now? You've got 400 years to work this out. The final war, the Gog and the Magog against the church. General judgment of the world. An article from Feed from His Basket. So I ask you, would you take this and understand in the midst of debasement and troubles, what are we rooted in? My daughter messaged me last night and she sent me a beautiful photo of this wonderful food that she cooks for her partner. She goes, well, Mom, you always did it. Yeah, I was never appreciated. And many people aren't appreciative, but I enjoyed it because I used to love watching them eat. That was my passion, to watch people eat, to see them smile and get their bellies full, whether there was a thank you or not. But when you use religion to do this, I did it out from my heart. But when you use religion to place people in a position that you choose to be, in marriages, saying the woman has to do this, the man has to do this, that's when we become heathens. Because it's 100-100. It's not about taking people's work away and shaming them and making them look stupid. And you did that by your own setups. That's why I step away. I made that choice. And when I went for my walks, and I asked every question that I'm supposed to ask that's in the truth, and I asked every question, And this is what this article came from. So I hope that you have hope, that you'll know the truth, and now you allow yourself to get stuck in a cult of separation and division to teach someone else lessons, because you're only digging yourself in more dirty laundry that you may not be learning from. But I love my dirty laundry. I shared that video. And if you have a really good look at it, they chose to do in the setups to chop my hair off. That is called a cult. That is not Christianity. That is not Christianity. Those were setups to teach me lessons. It didn't teach me any more than I already know, that you're stupid, that you're an idiot. Nothing more. And if it would have been done to my children, I would have beat the crap out of you. That's where I become the karma. Understand this, it only proves to me that you have no love. But that's a choice. You can either love or hate. Whatever you want to dwell in this article, understanding in this, and feeding from his basket. Who are we influenced by? We all know where the screw-ups were. And I have seen it on Messenger. I have seen it through Facebook, and I've seen it in Smule. Every preacher, every leader in this world is a human being. And if you do not have the Holy Spirit, you will do this. I guarantee it. And nobody is made to wake up and set up. Never. That person is delusional. That person sits in the dark and writes all about the setups. That person has no empathy. That person is very sick. That person needs attention. That person don't care. Test them. I went back and retested. Oh, I made myself sound so dramatic. Not once was, how are you? Are you okay? Nothing. Just, well, you could try moving there. And I tested everyone. Setups. They could have been acting and role-playing a psychopath. But my point is, who would want to be with someone who does setups? Any man or woman. Unless it's for something healthy, like setting up the table and sitting together, all of us together as family. That's where we should be. Not with a table that causes division and causes harm, or teaches other people lessons, or makes you spread your legs and forces you to stand out in front of everybody and take your clothes off. That person is very sick. And all they're doing on the other end is pulling their wig and laughing at you. They don't care about you. They're just another human being that has a certain time in life. And probably, I have to say, in my studies, we got 400 years to get everything right. And that's it. So I hope from this that it helps you grow. But it's a choice. Holding back someone's funds, finances, and having them, family, everyone, I know what you've got at the river. Everybody gets to watch, send people in, play the little games, ask me for sex. Hervey knows I know. Pritchard knows I know. They all know I know. Center knows I know. Everyone knows I know. So why do you continue to do it? Why do you ask the doctors to role play this? And the people at work and everyone else? You don't need a sixth sense to recognize it. You're very visible. And at school, and with the professors, and with my exes, with everything. I've seen it all. I've seen it all. And I've watched you. And you've even put yourself on video before you went out and preached for others to see. I don't have to say a word. So before you start grabbing everybody else's dirty laundry, you gotta start scrubbing our own. And not this way. Right? That's called the feel good. That's something between your partner and you. I don't belong to nobody unless I say so, and I belong to God. And when I get a partner, I don't belong to him. We become 100 as one. He don't own me, and I don't own him. Just belonging and loving and caring and nurturing. It's a risk factor or not. That's why if we are in a weak place and not have the plain direction, have that character, we won't know about the mercies and judgments, but only of man's way. So I hope cutting it straight to the point will help you. Again, I'm Rhonda Fair from Feed from This Basket. God bless.